Hi, welcome. My name is Julia. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so my plan for this video is I saw Jack Edwards, who I'm obsessed with. I love him so much. I don't think he would ever be watching this video, but if you were, hey. I saw him do this video where he was ranking books based off of the very first line in them, and I loved it. But I was wondering, like, how would that compare to how you ranked the books, just like the whole book themselves? Like, how does the first quote rank to the entire book? So I figured today I grabbed 10 random books that I've read this year off of my shelf, and we're gonna rank them just as books first, and then we're gonna rank them from their first quote. That makes sense, right? Yeah. It makes sense. Guessing the bottom will be first, and then as we go up, that'll be like second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th. So 10th would be at the top, first would be at the bottom. So to start out, we're gonna start with The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. Very easy read. I wasn't like sitting and underlining things and really thinking about everything. It was just a really fun kind of adventure book. It's about our main character, who is this just really badass woman who does not take shit and also doesn't process her emotions. Anyway, that you can go to this hotel to time travel to the past. So a bunch of people, rich people specifically, go to this hotel so they can go to ancient Egypt or Rome or a world war. I don't know why you'd want to go to a world war, but you could. People do, actually. They talked about it in the book. She has like this time sickness. Her ex-girlfriend's ghost is visiting her. All this craziness. It's gonna start in first because it's the first book, but it didn't like touch my soul, which I feel like some of these books have, so we'll see. Second book I have is The Beast by Katee Robert. This is some grade A Disney smut, if you've ever needed that in your life, specifically with the villains involved. This one specifically, okay, what's hilarious about these is I guess Katee Roberts had to like change the names of some of the people because of Disney. So it's technically Belle, the Beast, and Gaston. But in this book, it's, what is her name in it? Her name, is it still Belle? This is also part of her Wicked Villains series, which is, it's simply Disney heroines and their villains doing the nasty. Straight fucking. Yes, her name is Isabel, so not Belle, but it's Isabel, and then Beast and Gayton. So this book, it's gonna go on top of Paradox Hotel. I loved it. Like, I had a good time reading it. Out of the series, it wasn't even the best. I just don't feel like it would be right to put it, it belongs here. That's where it's gonna go. It is male, female, which is fun. So if you're into that, read that. My next book is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. I'm butchering that, but I'm sure you've heard of this book. It like was really going around this year. So this book is about this very rich, hot, privileged white girl in New York who decides that she's not going to deal with her shit. She's just going to sleep for an entire year. It was shocking to me how interesting it was. Like, how did Ottessa make somebody sleeping for a year that I was reading it nonstop. I read it so quickly. Very dry, very dark humor. It's definitely way less plot. She's trying to sleep for a year, and more like in her head, it's more of a character study in that way for sure, which I personally love. This one, I think this is gonna go in first place for right now. Yeah. I would say, depending on where your mental health is at, maybe not read it, but it was a really good book. Verity by Colleen Hoover. Yes, I did it. I read a Colleen Hoover book. I think I read 2 of them, and then her structure just started feeling very, like, it kept happening, and I didn't feel like reading it. And it's about, where's the cover? I'm sure you've seen it. She's a writer, and then she's brought to the house of this other woman who's a writer, who's totally incapacitated from an illness, or no, from an accident. And it's very creepy, which I loved. Oh my gosh, I feel like I can't breathe right now. I grew okay, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, and the ending obviously shook me. It had some spice in there, which I really appreciate. I read a lot of smut. Sorry, I don't know if this should go. I'm gonna put it after Paradox, before the Beast. I did like the spice and the spookiness of this, but this was, I just found this really original, and I felt way more connected with the main character in Paradox Hotel than I did in Verity. Maybe this inspires you to read Paradox Hotel, I don't know, but that's where it's gonna go. Okay, next I have The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. It's about a world where, it's basically our world, but there's also a group of humans that are book eaters. So a whole other group of humans that they don't eat food for sustenance, they eat books, and they retain all of the information that they get from those books, which that's why I picked it up. It sounds so fun, and it was really, really cool. And the main character of this kind of reminded me of the main character in Paradox Hotel. She's very like, I can do everything on my own, and I don't need to hear from other people, and I'm gonna fight for myself. Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was one of those books that I kind of put off finishing because like the ending got like really like the high like chase part of a movie. I'm gonna put it under Verity. So before Verity, but after Paradox Hotel. This one kept me in it more than this one did. But these two I definitely would say have similar vibes. I think both of the women, is she gay? I think they're also both like very strong like female leads that are also gay, which we love that. So yeah, that's how I would do that. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides? Michaelides. Okay. First of all, the cover of this, yeah, I think that's why I picked it up. This cover is everything to me. Also, it's by the same guy who wrote The Silent Patient, and there was so much buzz going around about that book, and so I picked this up. Do I have The Silent Patient? I haven't read it yet, but I think I might have bought it at some point. I don't see it. Actually, no, I know why I didn't buy it. I read this and I was very disappointed. Not to say it was a bad book, but the premise of it I thought was amazing, and I was very like intrigued. And I'd also just read Verity and another Colleen Hoover book, and I really enjoyed just that God, what is the word for that? Kind of like a whodunit situation, right? Like you kind of kept guessing and all that kind of stuff. It's again very dark, sinister. It's set in like, you know, Cambridge. It's really good vibes. But oh, there's also a secret society of the female students called the Maidens, and they're all kind of whack too. Anyways, everything about it was set up so well, but I just remember the ending. I just remember being so mad because it was kind of like the author, what's his name, Alex, like he did something to surprise you just for the sake of it, but it didn't feel like it fit in with the rest of the book. I didn't love the way that it was written. I also went through a phase this year though, where every time I picked up a book written by a man, I didn't like the way that it was written. So this also could have been in that phase, which isn't my fault. I do like books written by men. I was just disappointed by this. It was good, but it wasn't great. Is this mean? No, I'm gonna put it right here. Is The Beast actually like a better novel than this? Probably not, but I had way more fun reading it, so that's where it's gonna go. Neon Gods, some more Katee Roberts. When I was pulling books off my shelf, I had to be so careful not to just grab like a million Katee Roberts books, because I read so many this year. Because they're quick, they're easy, they're sexy. I know I'm gonna have a good time. What's not to love? So this had a lot of buzz this year and last year. Maybe it was mostly last year, I don't know. But I feel like anybody who is into smutty books has read this book. And it is a Hades Persephone retelling. And I ate it up. I loved this book. It's so, the writing is not like incredible. And so you kind of have to put it in a different, like I feel like I have to rank it. I wanted to say grade it. I'm not grading these books. I feel like I have to rank them differently just because, again, the writing's not like Shakespearean, but the vibes are there. So the only thing that I didn't like about this book, and I got over it because I read the rest of the books in this series, was that the way that it was modernized was kind of weird to me. So some of that, like there's some holes which were kind of annoying, but other than that, unspeakably hot. I agree. I think it's gonna go under My Year of Rest and Relaxation, but above Paradox Hotel. This is my opinion. It's not saying it's right, but it's mine, and it's right to me. That's funny. Is it right? Maybe not. Is it how I feel? It is. Okay. Bunny by Mona Awad? I should have probably looked up how to say some of these names, but Bunny. This was another one. Obviously, a lot of these are big this year because I read them this year, and when I see it online and people are talking about it, I will buy it in the store. And I actually read this in October, which was wonderful because it gave me very Scream Queens vibes. It was very spooky, but it had that like very girly feel to it. And there was a whole section where the main character got kind of sucked into this whole world and was kind of thinking in this hive mind with the rest of them, that if you have issues with dissociative like personality stuff, or like I personally deal with like that kind of mental health world, wasn't the best. I went to sleep that night feeling weird. So I think this is another one where like check your mental state because it's really whack, but it was a really cool book and it was really fun and original and odd, very odd and funny. It was very funny. I just saw Wickedly Hilarious, and I do agree. I just forgot to talk about it. I think I'm gonna put it above, not above, Bologna. That can't be right. Okay, I can do whatever I want. It's my rating. I'm gonna put it Bologna Gods above Paradox Hotel. It's like so well written, it really is. And just the tone of it is really awesome. Again, I really wanted to, it makes me think of Scream Queens. Okay, there we go. Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. I should really know how to say his name. But I don't, I'm sorry. So this book, if you can't tell, I underlined like, I feel like every other sentence in this book. Literally, it's, I love this book so much. It's so beautiful. Two guys falling in love in Italy over the summer, and it's beautiful. It perfectly lays out that feeling of falling in love with somebody, especially if it's for the first time or this first great love of your life, and I adored it so much. Yeah, I think this has to go in first place. It's going in first place. All right, last book, My Dark Vanessa by Katie Elizabeth Russell. This was another book that I think I underlined like every other, you can't even see that because I wrote in pencil for half of it, but I think I underlined like every other sentence. This book wrecked me, like chewed me up, spit me out. I almost said ate me again, but that's really weird. It just destroyed me. I think I will recommend this book for the rest of my life. This is another trigger warning if you have had issues with rape, especially when it comes to like being a minor and a teacher. Not a teacher specifically, it could be a grown person. Just, you know, read the trigger warnings for it. But it's about this girl who in high school had a relationship with one of her teachers, and he's older, and it just goes back and forth between her currently at, I think she's like 30s, maybe 40s. I think she's 30s, but her in her current state in life, and then back when she was younger, and just the repercussions of that kind of thing that you don't think about, because she at the time thought she was in love with him, was so happy about everything that was happening, and just idealized him and was so excited and wanted this and needed him to feel okay about herself and his reassurance and all that kind of stuff. But in the future, it's not a but, it's an and. She still feels that way about it. She's like, no, I loved him, and I don't care that I was younger because I loved him, and she still talks to him. But it makes you see how that affects her in the future. There's still that power dynamic there. It articulates that situation so well. And I also love that it's not like he's attractive. He's not attractive. He's just like a regular middle-aged man. And it's just exquisite. Read it. I don't even know what else to say. It's beautiful. It's going in first place. Okay, here we go. We have our ranking of the book. So first we have My Dark Vanessa, second, Call Me By Your Name, third, My Year of Rest and Relaxation, fourth, Neon Gods, fifth, Bunny, sixth, Paradox Hotel, seventh, Book Eaters, eighth, Verity, ninth, The Beast, and 10th, The Maidens. I promise it wasn't that awful. It just disappointed me. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to rip them off the stand and I'm going to go back, read the quote, and just put it in an order straight off the top of my head. So this part will hopefully be a lot quicker than the last part because I'm just going to like say what I think. Oh my gosh. Neon Gods. Let's see what we got. I really hate these parties. It's starting in first, but it's not gonna stay there. I read this right after Call Me By Your Name and was like got whiplash from the writing style because Call Me By Your Name is like beautiful art, exquisite, should be put in a museum, incredible, could be studied for my whole life. And then this was like, I really hate these parties. My Year of Rest and Relaxation. Whenever I woke up, night or day, I'd shuffle through the bright marble foyer of my building and go up the block and around the corner where there was a bodega that never closed. That was just boring. All right, Call Me By Your Name. This has to be good. There's no way it's not good. If it's not, oh. Later, the word, the voice, the attitude. Dang. But that's what it is. Let me read the next sentence. I've never heard anyone use later to say goodbye before. I don't feel very different. It's first out of these, but still not incredible. Like I'm not like dying to read more. Okay. Bunny. We call them bunnies because that is what they call each other. Seriously, bunny. That is more interesting. None of these are amazing. I think this is first. I don't think it sounds like a first, but it's first right now. Because that is interesting. Because it makes you wonder, like, are we talking about human beings? Like, why are we calling people bunnies? Okay, yeah, this one's gonna be first. This one at least draws me in more and makes me want to know what the fuck is up. Book Eaters. First quote. These days, Devin only bought 3 things from the shops: books, booze, and sensitive care skin cream. Am I crazy? I'm just, these just aren't like doing it for me. My Dark Vanessa. Am I thinking about this wrong? I don't know. I get ready for work and the post has been up for 8 hours. The post. Post. Like a social media post. I get ready for work and the post has been up for 8 hours. I'm like shell-shocked right now. I just remember again, I did this because I loved Jack's video and I remember some of his quotes in those books were like, oh my god, that's gonna be amazing, the writing, oh. These are like, not giving me much. I'm gonna put it above, below Call Me By Your Name, above Book Eaters, because I do want to know more about this post and what's going on. But, you know, if I read that in a bookstore and that's all I had, I don't know if I would like jump to finish it. We have 4 more books, so maybe these will be freaking incredible and unstoppable and I won't know what to do with myself. The Maidens. Watch this. Could be. Edward Fosco was a murderer. This was a fact. It's the best so far. It's the best so far because I feel like you can't go into this kind of like murder mystery situation and automatically believe what they say in the beginning. I mean, you can, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, no, it's the best. It makes me want to know what's going on. Is he a murderer? Is he not? Who's dead? More. Verity by Colleen Hoover. I opened it right up there. Look at that. I hear the crack of his skull before the spattering of blood reaches me. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. That you're like, oh my, what's gonna happen? Yeah, number 1. Thank you, Miss Hoover. But this is the complete opposite Not only can you not judge a book by its cover, but you can't judge it by its first line. That's what I'm getting. The Beast by Katee Roberts. We have to do something. No, that's that. I mean, the second line is, it has to be you, Izzy. So we have to do something. It has to be you, Izzy. That's good. Cause like, why do we have to do something? What's the tea? It's better than a lot of these lot. I just like the urgency. I kind of feel like that's what I'm judging it on. But also, if one of these gave me like a long ass poetic opening sentence, then that would also get it to be down here. But I'm not getting that. But this urgency is what's doing it for me right now. I'm gonna put it below Bunny, but above Call Me By Your Name, which is actually hilarious. Like, I feel like that's kind of sacrilegious. Like, it doesn't feel like I should be able to do it, but again, it's my video, I'm gonna do it. Last one, let's see. Paradox Hotel by Robert Hart. There's no cover on it. Droplets of blood pat the blue carpet, turning from red to black as they soak into the fibers. Yeah, that's good. I want to know what's going on. And I also remember, again, I'm not judging it based off that, but this whole first chapter is like, I'm dying. And then it goes like, it's like her death scene kind of. And then it snaps into like present day. And she's like, hey, what's up? I'm living my life. So that was really interesting too. Not that that has anything to do with the first line, but that was very interesting. Verity was better because it was way more in your face and like shocking, which I liked. And I think it's still better than Maidens. Yeah. Murder's more interesting. Well, no, they're both murder. Dying is more interesting than murderer, right? But this is my video, as we've learned before. So yeah, this is gonna go below Verity and above Maidens. Here's the final order for our ranking with just the opening line. Okay, so we have Verity, Paradox Hotel, The Maidens, Bunny, The Beast, Call Me By Your Name, My Dark Vanessa. That's a crazy lineup. That's a crazy lineup. The Book Eaters, Neon Gods, and in last place, yeah, My Year of Rest and Relaxation. That goes like directly against what I said about the book, about it actually being interesting, even though it was about not boring stuff, but not too much was happening. Wow. Honestly, I'm shocked. I really expected, especially the ones that I loved for the writing, like Call Me By Your Name, My Dark Vanessa, and My Year of Rest and Relaxation, I really expected those to be higher or have stronger opening lines. But hey, I didn't write them. So yeah, next time you pick up a book in the bookstore and just kind of look at that first page, maybe also look at the second and the third before you buy it. Yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully I will continue with more content like this. Please comment below if you agree, disagree, if you've read these books, how you feel, if you're mad about the Maidens, or if you are mad about anything else. I don't know. Or if you're happy. You don't have to be mad to comment. Please don't just be mad. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.